Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast. I'm coming to you live, shooting from the hip, trying something experimental and new at the end of the year. It's been a long year. We got two more broadcasts, I think, left in this year, and then we will be kaput until January. Lots of exciting things coming up in January, some of which you know about, some of which you don't. Got some cool episodes of Pizza Punk coming up. We got some exciting interviews coming up. Keep your eyes peeled for that, for the next installment of Eerie Vaughn. And on the Patreon YouTube member side of things, we've been doing some secret shows. So if your curiosity is piqued, come and check that out as well. I don't know why I decided to do this tonight. I guess I was taking a shower and I immediately thought about this topic. Well, some of my best thinking gets done in the shower, I guess. I'm not saying that this is my best thinking, but I'm just saying in general, like, ideas come to me when I'm taking a shower. And I was thinking in my head about I wonder what the Misfits are going to do next. So this popped up, and we're going to get started here in just a moment. As a matter of fact, let's start the show off the right way. This is a streaming Evilive show. We're going to count it as one, the final for the year, which means we have to do the special introduction, Rue's favorites. This one goes out to Rue. Shout out to Rue. Here we go.
Jeff is gonna talk about the Misfits right now. He's a nerd about this stuff, obsessed anyhow. Jeff never shuts his face, always needs to talk. Might be show some weight if he went out for a walk. Do you think Danzig cares? He doesn't care. He's not into ranch.
Hey now, welcome to tonight's show. We've officially started here, and tonight's show is special. It is a call-in show. We've done call-in shows in the past with limited success. It's hard to do a call-in show, so the way it's going to work is we're going to have a timer. There's going to be a timer for the calls, if anybody should call. That's what we'll do. That's how we're going to rock this ish. Why does it do that? Why does it do that indeed? And we'll just see how it goes, man. We'll just see how it goes. And I'm not going to really put any more thought into it but that. But I expect, whoever pops in here, you got to, be careful with your language and, I don't know. And maybe we'll just do audio. I don't want any video for bandwidth issues. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to put any. But point being, pinned to the top here is a place where you can call in to the show. You click on that link and it brings you in, and you can actually come on the show. But don't do it yet. Do not call in yet. A couple of things I got to deal with. What's up? We got Steve here. Hi, Steve. Hi, Biz. Cause for alarm already weighing in. We got some weigh-ins. So quick. Michelle says, let's wing it. Okay, we will. We'll get to all that in a minute. First, I want to highlight YouTube member Neon Knees, Jas. I guess Jas is his name. He has a band called Black Lick. And he sent me his music. I get sent music from time to time, and I love to champion people's music, or let people know. So if you're into Bad Religion meets Dropkick Murphys, that's how I felt when I was listening to this music. The song's called the album is called Neutronic. There's two albums. There's a self-titled release about 11 years ago, and then there's Neutronic, and that's all on a Bandcamp, which I'm going to share on my screen real quick. So check it out. If you're into those bands, you might appreciate Neon Knees and his project Blacklick here. In the same way that you know, people support what I do. I want to support what they do, or at least, highlight it. And no, I really enjoyed listening to this. That the only way to describe it, the perfect, succinct way to describe it, Bad Religion meets Dropkick Murphys. It's great. It's great. So check it out. And there's a Bandcamp. So you can go to blacklick.bandcamp.com to check it out. I posted a link to it actually already in the community section on YouTube. So you can go and check it out right now if you want. It's ready and waiting. What else can I say? Housekeeping wise, got a very special show planned for New Year's Eve. It's going to be pre-taped, I think, so it's not going to be live. But we did a very special show last New Year's Eve, and we did a special show on the last two Halloweens. So I thought, let's keep the tradition going for as long as we can keep the tradition going, and let's do a special show. So I have a very special show happening New Year's Eve. So if you're not doing anything, or if your plans finish early, go check it out. Like I said, this is a very impromptu decision to go live tonight and do this. So I think I've stalled as long as I possibly can before diving into the subject. Let's do it. So the Misfits. So first of all, this is not meant to be, this kind of is clickbaity. I'm sorry. It's a little clickbaity. Because obviously the Misfits, I mean, anybody who knows or follows either one of these bands knows that neither the Misfits nor Metallica are doing shows together. So right off the bat, that, this is not, I'm not trying to psych anybody out. It's more like capture imagination, that sort of thing. But yeah, I was thinking in the shower today, I was like, what is the last frontier for the Misfits at this point? And I think that it would be, they've really done everything that they set out to accomplish, apart from, I would say, releasing new music, which we know is not going to happen at all, most likely. I just don't see that happening for numerous reasons we've redundantly explored here on the show. One, Glenn can't write like that anymore, probably. He's not going to let Jerry contribute songs, and Doyle's not going to bring anything to the table. So there's going to be no music. Two, the closest that we probably will get to something like that is probably maybe going to be a live release, maybe some sort of archival release. Who knows? So maybe something will be coming up the pike, but it probably won't be new material. So that's one thing that they haven't done yet. Put out something new, like some sort of release. And the other thing is they haven't played, any big stadiums yet, really, I guess. That would be like something they could do. Maybe play Las Vegas, or, not Las Vegas, like, I don't know, like do like a residency in Vegas, like that sort of thing. But I was thinking, like, what is the biggest thing that they could do besides what they already did playing at Madison Square Garden? Because that's really what I was thinking about. I was like, I think that in terms of what the Misfits are going to accomplish, they've already done it. They played Madison Square Garden. They had the Damned opening for them. They did it in New York City. They did it on Halloween, around Halloween. I mean, that's it. That's the pinnacle. And they just did a show with Alice Cooper opening for them. That's a pretty big deal. So I was thinking in my head, like, what could the Misfits do now to top all of that stuff? Because after a while, it's like, it's going to be, I can't believe I'm saying this, but we've gotten to a point where they're doing the same thing over and over again. Are they going to do something, bigger or newer, or how do you top what you've already done? And I think that the answer is doing shows with Metallica. Metallica's about to go on a world tour, right? They're releasing new music. They're about to go out on a world tour. Doesn't it make sense that it's something that would definitely, be good for Metallica? It's good for all parties involved. I mean, it's good for the Misfits. It would be good for Metallica, unless you get to that, the notion that, maybe Metallica is like, fuck them. We would want them to, overshine us, and vice versa. The Misfits feeling threatened that they'll be outshined by Metallica. But besides that, like insecurity, maybe the solution is for those dudes to go on a tour or do a string of dates. I mean, that would be ginormous. Then you would see the Misfits in real stadium settings, because that's all Metallica plays. They don't play anything smaller than a stadium at this point, right? And a stadium is a whole other level. Does the Misfits sound translate to the stadium setting? I don't know, but it surely worked in the Madison Square Garden setting, and Madison Square Garden is as big as it gets. So we've already kind of been in that environment. Now just, again, have them open for Metallica, or vice versa. Maybe it's several dates. I don't think the Misfits would allow Metallica, would ever agree to be Metallica's openers. Maybe Doyle would. Maybe Jerry would, but I don't know if Glenn would. So it would be like at this point. So I feel like the only way that it could work is if they were co-headliners, because Glenn's ego would never allow that. It would just be insane. So what I've done here now, I'm going to try this, and hopefully we'll see what happens. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I'm opening up the forum, and that was the topic of discussion. And if this works, we could do this more in the future, but here's how it's going to work. If you have something you want to say about this topic or a topic related to this topic, keep it on topic. Click on the link pinned to the top of the chat, and do not turn on your video. Keep it to audio so we don't have to worry about connectivity issues. You are free to join me. I'm going to put a 5-minute timer on, and come in, say some shit. When the timer goes off, wrap it up and exit. And let's see what happens. If you want, you don't have to come on here if you don't want to. And that's just open to anybody out there who is watching this right now. So what do you think? Could it work? Misfits and Metallica? I mean, alternatively, you could just weigh in the comments, is what we usually do. And I'm going to read some comments right now, and we'll see if we get any takers. Steve says, are the Misfits even going to do any more shows? I think so. I mean, supposedly that's what's up for the year 2023. Who knows? We are most certain, Michelle, we are most certainly winging it. That is for sure. Adam says, still kind of pissed they pulled the plug on the Vegas show. I was at the Dallas one, though. Glad you and Steve got to go to the Dallas one. Biz says, I don't think they'll write anything new. I don't think so. Mom says it would definitely be profitable. I'm sure regarding the Metallica thing. Yeah, for sure. Just imagine the t-shirt sales. Yeah. I mean, those would be very collectible items, especially if, imagine them all coming out and jamming on like Die Die My Darling or Last Caress or Green Hell. I mean, that would be just nuts. I mean, Glenn has done that with Metallica several times. Danzig has opened Metallica before. I don't think he'd be opposed to it. Yes, that was when Danzig was still establishing themselves as a band. That was in the 90s. Was that in 94? I feel like they opened early too, right? Didn't Danzig also in the late 80s open for Metallica as well? They did some dates. They did some dates in the early days of Danzig and in the later days of the first Danzig band, that original Danzig era. So I don't know. I don't think that he would be, I texted Joe. I texted Joe and I asked him if he wanted to ride shotgun on this because he's such a Metallica nut. I really wanted to hear what Joe Vasta had to say about this, and he did not respond to my text message. So that leaves. So I'm opening it up. I'm putting the link out there. It's pinned. If anybody wants to come on, just pop in, say hello, chat for a few minutes, and be on their way. You're more than welcome to join me to do so. You're right early and towards the end of the original. Yeah, so they bookmarked, they sandwiched that. They did shows with Metallica before Metallica did the Black Album and after. And surely there's no way in hell Metallica would open for Danzig after they had done the Black Album. The Black Album outsold, overshadows anything that Danzig did, commercially or critically. And I'm not saying that the Black Album is better than Danzig one because I love it. Oh, look who's here. Look who's here. The perfect guest. Hey.
What's up?
What's up? You can turn on your video. You turn on your video. It's okay. Had you on so many times. Just turn your camera this way if you can. I don't know if you can do that. What's up, dude?
You got me? Oh.
There you go. Hey.
Yeah. How's it going?
How you doing? I'm glad this worked. We got our first caller, who also happens to be the sponsor of the channel. We have Sharpie Riot, CEO of riotstickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Remember, we'll do the plug a little bit later into the show. What do you think, Josh?
Well, I think it's an awesome thought, really. I hadn't thought of it. And the main thing that you said something that really got me thinking, and you said that Danzig wouldn't open because of ego. And that got me thinking that I don't think that that's true. I think the fact that Danzig has done the Misfits shows that he's like over having an ego in a lot of ways. And we've also seen the Misfits not do a string of shows because they don't want to go do a grueling tour. But for them to open for Metallica and kind of do a tour, but not have to play late and play long, like maybe that would allow them to do it.
Oh, interesting.
So for them to go out and open and do a 30-minute set and get off stage and be done early and not be killing themselves night after night, and be on a stadium tour where, travel's awesome, lodging is awesome.
Sure.
All that stuff is easy. Like maybe that does allow them the opportunity to do a bigger tour and make it through,
Dude, that was very insightful and very, I think you've kind of changed my mind on that when you think about that. Here's the thing. They didn't, when they had Alice Cooper open for them. So I feel like that leads to like, why would we open for Metallica when we had Alice Cooper opening for us? But the flip side is, I think the Metallica tour, you're right, on all those accounts. They're playing slightly shorter opening set, which although I'm sure they'd probably play a full set, they'd probably do at least an hour opening for Metallica. But maybe they could get away with doing a slightly shorter set, which puts less strain on all parties, especially Danzig, who probably, can't do too many shows in a row, without straining himself in that kind of way. I would imagine. I don't know. But also that they could probably get that $1 million guarantee,
Yeah, but I heard Danzig say, like, I'm done touring. Like, I don't want to tour anymore.
Right,
like, it's too hard. And I get that. Like, that makes sense. I mean, that kills. But to go be an opener, and again, I like the fact that he did the Misfits again. To me, like, he got to a point in his life where he said, like, I don't care about the ego anymore. Like, I want to just have fun and do some things I want to do and revisit old things, and I don't care about ego anymore. And I think people do get to that stage. So, maybe that doesn't matter. And for them to do a shorter set and open the show and be able to do the tour, So anyway, you kind of led me to that thought process by saying that, but, it would make a lot of sense.
I could totally see them opening and then coming back for for an encore.
Yeah,
they do a Misfit set encore with all of them out there, and it would be nuts.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
So who knows?
I will say this. It's a really awesome thought that you brought this up. And let's just archive this show, and if that ends up happening, you can put this show back on, and like you're the genius, you know.
Yeah. Maybe
So.
we're putting it out there. We're putting out the vibrations out. Sharpie is going to be on the show. We're going to be doing a very interesting Misfits related show in January. I'm very excited about it. It was Sharpie's idea, and it's a great one. And I can't wait to tackle this subject with Sharpie. It's going to be cool. It's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Hey, let me hop off here, and let's
Cool.
let someone else chime in. I can't wait to see what people say.
We'll see. We'll see if someone chimes in. In any case, Happy New Year, and I'll see you. We'll be back on here real soon.
All right, cool. Take care,
All right,
man.
man.
Later.
Peace and hair grease. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. We had Sharpie weigh in. That was cool. Man, he changed my mind, actually. I was sitting here thinking, I don't know if it would work, but think about the luxury. And again, Danzig has sort of, sworn off touring, and maybe a Metallica tour is the type of tour where Danzig, goes, yeah, I would do that. I'm sure too, he would see a boost in sales across the board of Danzig and Misfits music, streams, whatever. Even though Danzig hates streaming and all that stuff, I'm sure, he doesn't mind when the Misfits, stream a little extra on Spotify. Who knows? Who friggin' knows? Line is open. If anybody wants to come on, weigh in. Do me a favor. I told Sharpie to turn on his video because Sharpie's been on a million times. The reason why I don't want video, if anybody else decides to come on, is because I don't want to deal with it delays things. It delays things. It's easier to do just audio, I think. Angus is in the chat. How you doing, Angus? Well, the topic of discussion for anybody who's just joining us is, do you think that a Misfits Metallica tour could work? How would it work? Who would open for who? Would it be a co-headliner? What do you think? In other news, friend of the show and friend of mine, I consider him a friend of mine, it was Ace Von Johnson's birthday yesterday. Ace has been on a few times on the channel. And he was doing a special charity where he was auctioning off a guitar. I don't know if that happened yet or if there's still time. We've posted about it a couple of times in the community section, so go check that out. Go sign up for a chance to raffle if it's still open. I don't know if it's still open, but it was like Ace Von Johnson Guitar at gmail.com or something. You can find it on the community tab. Scroll down a little bit and you'll see it there on this YouTube channel. Ace Von Johnson auctioning off guitars. Happy birthday, Ace. Shares a birthday with my friend Jeremy, also born on December 27th. What else can I tell you? What else can I say? I don't know. See, what I'm really hoping for is that I can have like a topic, like a sentence topic, and then have people come on and weigh in. But it requires people have to come on and do it. And we've had it in the past, but the problem is, we got one. We got one in the comments. All right. I'm bringing them in. All right. Look, I'm putting this on a timer. Okay. Hold on. We have we have Zach in the green room. Hold on. So when you hear the bell, that means you got to wrap it up. And I'm going to give you the floor. Okay, Zach, hold on 1 second. This is a gentleman. This is Zach the Bone. That's all I can see. It says Zach Bone. What up? Hello. Zach the Bone Man. Can't hear you at all. Hello? Zach, we got no mic. Oh, you just turned your mic off. Here. Hello. Thank you. We got a nice donation from riotstickers.com 2023 for 2023. Thank you so much, Riot. Appreciate you. Zach, buddy, your mic is not working. We cannot hear you at all. You want to try here? Zach, I'm going to boot you, and I want you to try and come in again, okay? Give me a thumbs up, buddy. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. This is the problem. This is why I should do... I don't know, man. Yes, it is a little... Zach does have a bit of a Blair Witch vibe going on. Nothing wrong with that. I like the Blair Witch. But Zach, buddy, I can't hear you. So I'm gonna kick you, and I want you to try and pull yourself back in. Dial back in, okay? Boom. All right, I kicked Zach. Sorry. Zach, try and call back in if you can. I got my timer set up. Wyatt timer, because the idea is I don't want anybody to go too long. I want to bring, if anybody wants to come on, I'll probably go for the hour, okay? But I want to try and get a couple people on here. We'll see. Again, there's nothing worse than when you do a call-in show and nobody calls in, right? In the past, we've had a couple people call in. It's fun. But I'm thinking in 2023, it would be a really great new feature on the channel to do a call-in show. Maybe once every month, once every 2 weeks, who knows? Since we have such like an interactive audience who are always weighing in the comments, wouldn't that be fun to see? And I'm going to repeat it over and over again. The question, the soup du jour of the day is, should the Misfits and Metallica do a tour? We're waiting for Zach right now. See if he comes back in. Melon software is a little tricky dicky. What would a Metallica Misfits tour look like? Who would open for who? Do you think they would do a full would they do a whole leg? Would they do the whole tour? Probably not the whole worldwide tour. Probably wouldn't make any financial sense to do so. But how would all of that work? That's what we're trying to figure out right now. Call in. Zach is back. Zach, okay, ready? I'm going to let you in. Hello, Mr. Zach.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
Jeff, can you hear me? Hey, how's it going, man?
I got you, Zach. Hold on, Zach. How you doing? I'm going to start the timer real quick.
Sure.
You have the floor, Zach. You have the floor. What's going on?
Hey, it's finally good to talk to you, man. Yeah, I'm calling from outside of St. Louis. I've seen this Metallica lineup that's going to be rolling through St. Louis, Missouri in late November of next year.
Oh, who are they playing with?
Now, here's the rub. The way they're playing it off, rolling through St. Louis, what I've been seeing just in the last 2 weeks is they're going to have 2 separate nights, okay? It's going to fall down on a weekend, and I'm not really certain who the 2 opening bands are, but from what I understand, they're doing like a repeat weekend, so they're going to be doing a whole catalog of their albums, and they're going to have 2 different bands that's going to be showcasing one band one night and one band the other night.
Okay.
Now, my take on this Danzig trip that you brought up is pretty cool, because I do believe when Danzig set off and did the Legacy tours and what have you,
yeah.
Okay, he wasn't meshing with Jerry too well, so in my opinion, if the Metallica is doing this like on random, like 2-night gigs, why wouldn't Glenn wrap up his catalog if he had the energy to do it, and take it one last time on the road, take the true Legacy shows out, do the Misfits set, do a Sam Hain set, do a Danzig set, vice versa, just to play it off over the weekend, or, the 2-night span. Money-wise, I have no idea, or if they'd have the energy to pull it off. that's all. That's all I'm calling in to talk about, man. Yeah,
Well, Zach, thank you. First of all, we have Angus asking. Angus says he lives in St. Louis and wonders what venue that is happening in for Metallica.
I do believe it's down there where the Rams used to play at down there by the Arch. Where the Civic Center down there? I think it's called the Civic Center, but I seen it. They were doing it right before Christmas over the weekend, last weekend. Late at night, they were hyping it up on TV, like around 1 o'clock in the morning or something. I seen it on TV, but it's supposed to be sometime in November. I think pretty close to Thanksgiving, so they're going to be coming into the St. Louis area sometime around Thanksgiving. And if my
It
mind
is in a convention center, says Angus. Just saw the former stadium where St. Louis had a football stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it sounds like Metallica is always trying to do something fresh and different by doing two nights with two completely different set lists. That just goes to show that maybe, they're trying to really think outside the box. So it would make sense to have the Misfits out with them. I'm sure they'd be stoked to do that if they could all make it work. Angus says that's November 3rd when that's happening, what you were talking about.
Ask him who the two bands are for those 2 nights, because I do believe Pantera might have been tied in with that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there you go. I mean, imagine that. Imagine if the Misfits jumped on that. That would be something else.
Yeah. It would be nice.
It would be something else. It would definitely be something else. But I love hearing you added an interesting wrinkle, this idea of 2 nights, 2 different set lists, and how maybe something like that could figure in.
But this is all hearsay. But I mean, if he had enough fuel, if Glenn had enough fuel in his tank to do it, and he wanted to close the book on all of it,
right?
Just go on and rig the true legacy shows out, and just put a lid on it, man. And just do it. Bring back Erie, bring back Chuck, bring back John, bring back Manny's doing stuff with Robbie. I mean, why not put Manny on the bus? Go on, man. Bring them all back. Bring them all back. Everybody deserves some money. Go ahead and do it, man.
That is our 5-minute timer, Zach. So I'm gonna.
Right on. It's good to hear from you.
Oh, Zach, thank you for calling in, man. I really appreciate it. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be taking more calls in a second. Zach, Happy New Year to you. Peace and hair grease, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. That was Zach. Zach weighing in. Appreciate you, Zach. Let's take a quick minute to talk about riotstickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. You just saw Sharpie Riot. We just talked about that really cool mystery Misfit show we're going to be doing in January. Riot Stickers is the sponsor of this channel. If you notice, these stickers are shiny because they are vinyl-y, and they also have a UV coating, which makes them waterproof and weatherproof and sunproof. And man, you can't go wrong with Riot Stickers. And we got a special deal with riotstickers.com. When you, for $79, you can get 1,000 of these Riot stickers, 3 inches by 3 inches, not these 2.5 by 3 inches. It's 3 inches by 3 inches. And that's 7 cents a sticker. You really can't go wrong. 7 cents a sticker. That makes a lot of sense. Riotstickers.com/Frumess, Frumess, just like the channel, as you can see right here. Riotstickers.com/Frumess. That's the only place you're going to find this deal. It is a crazy deal. You're not going to find it anywhere else but this website. Link is in the description. Feel like calling in, do so. We're going to take a quick 60 seconds break with our Less Than Jake-esque theme song.
We make stickers, banners, and buttons too, posters and promo cards. There's nothing we can't print for you. From stage backdrops to bass drum heads, we can print on shirts, we can print on hats.
All right. And we are back again. We are taking callers, which is not something we do very often, but we are doing it today. Think of it as an experiment in trying to do a not, I wouldn't call it an original format, but maybe a newer format where basically you can call into the show. I don't think it would be for every show, but maybe like select shows we could try and do this. I am doing this very impromptu. I decided today to do this show. I didn't really put much thought into it, apart from coming up with a topic and a thumbnail. And we had Zach on to weigh in, and Sharpie Riot has weighed in. If anybody else cares to join us who feels comfortable, we're not forcing anybody to join us if they don't want to. I will speak about some of the other things we have going on the channel. If you are a Patreon or a YouTube member, you know that we are doing secret shows. We've had some really cool secret show content. We had a Danzig related secret show thing that the second episode of that will be coming up in January. I don't even want to say what it is because it's a secret. Shh. And we have more episodes of the Lodi Files coming back. That will be coming back in the new year. We also have, we are doing an out-of-print Stephen King book. We're doing a reading like we did with Return of the Living Dead, the novelization. Well, we're doing a Stephen King book that is out of print, that is purposely out of print. Stephen King does not want this book in print, so we're not making this a public show. We're not doing a public audiobook. It's a private audiobook. You can learn more or listen into those secret shows if you become a YouTube member or a Patreon member. More about that at the end of this program, which will probably wrap up at the end of the hour, or at least at the end of a hour, not maybe this hour. Like I said, we have a link up. You can click into the link and weigh in on the subject matter. Misfits touring with Metallica. Is that something that you want? How do you think it should go down? What makes sense? What should they do? Is there merch that makes sense? Should they be recording these shows? I don't know. What do you think? Who do you think would have the bigger draw? Would one band outplay the other? What venue would it take place in? We're just imagining these things. We don't know. We're not saying that this is a plan. It's just that the Misfits have done everything there is to do in their little reunion. So why not do this? I feel like this is the big thing. This could be the thing that caps everything off. Apparently, Angus says that the information for those Metallica shows that Zach mentioned are on Metallica's website. So there you go. We are waiting. If anybody wants to call in, do so. You have another 22 minutes to call in, and then we will wrap up this show. That's what we will do. Phil in the comments says, I'd want it, but Danzig is not into touring anymore. Maybe a handful of shows are possible. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine, if in my imagining of this idea, it would just be a string of dates. It would probably be like 5 or 6 shows. Maybe it would be in every other city. Who knows? Maybe it would only be West Coast shows. Maybe it would just be like 3 to 4 West Coast shows. I'm sure Doyle would jump at the chance. Imagine here's another thing to weigh in on. If you decide to click in and call into the show, what would that ticket price be? If we see Misfit ticket prices, I don't know, what's the highest Misfits ticket price there's been thus far? I think, it's gone for $265 in New York. Has it been more elsewhere? What would it be with Metallica on the bill? Because a Metallica show, this is a band that's never reunited and never broken up to begin with. Metallica tickets, don't those things go for like $200 or $300 just for like nosebleeds or just like whatever? I'm very sort of ignorant to this, so I don't really know. So if anybody wants to enlighten me, clue me in on the reality, I can just imagine that being like a $500 ticket for just general admission. And Misfits will make Misfits would do like, let's say the Misfits did like 7 shows, they'd clear $7 million for 7 shows for a rinky-dink punk band, dude. I mean, that's crazy. That is crazy. Would they do it? And think about the merch. What would the merch be? Well, they have been kind of uninspired with their merch designs. You got 19 minutes left. Come weigh in. I'll put the timer on for 5 minutes. Come, you can spill your beans, say your piece, let the crowd know what you think personally. We're taking callers right now. Feel free to jump on. Now is the time. 18 minutes left. And then we will call it a day. We're going to be back, I think maybe, tomorrow we're pre-taping New Year's Eve show. And then maybe on Friday night, I have my final show of the year, probably my final live show of the year. We're going to be talking about the terrors of cryogenically freezing yourself. So if you find cryogenics to be interesting or terrifying or crazy, do not miss out on this show. Like I said, it'll probably be on Friday. We're going to be doing it live. We're going to be discussing what happened to the first people that ever cryogenically froze themselves. Should be interesting conversation. Make for interesting conversation. That's what I want to say. Biz says Misfits plus Metallica would be fun. I mean, they played at Aftershock together, didn't they? Maybe Toss and Rob Zombie. So I guess they did. I didn't realize that. They did play together, but that wasn't like direct support. Wasn't that, that's like a festival set. So isn't it a little bit different in that way? Dare I say it's less intimate? Angus says, most I ever paid for a ticket was $30 about 6 weeks before Cobain died. I know nothing about large shows. My goodness. $30 for a Nirvana ticket. Imagine if Kurt was still alive. Let's say that they probably broke up anyway. You'd imagine that Nirvana eventually would have broken up and Kurt Cobain probably would have rolled solo. And then they would get back together and they would do a giant reunion tour, making mega bucks. What that ticket would go for would be a pricey ticket, I bet. Biz says, alternatively, it could be interesting to see the Misfits, Danzig, and Doyle touring together in their retrospective bands. Ooh, Misfits, Danzig, and Doyle. Biz, I love that idea. I don't think it would ever happen, but it is absolutely a really cool creative idea. You have Doyle and then Danzig and then the Misfits, although Danzig would never allow that. He'd probably want the Misfits to open for Danzig. It'd be too much of a conflict of interest. That would be a hard sell, maybe. The tickets would be well beyond what I could afford at the present, but you can dream. That's why if going to see the Misfits live was cool, but I got to tell you, I don't remember what I spent on the legacy shows. I think it was like $35 a ticket or something. It was like nothing, man, to see what a deal that was, because you got a Danzig set, you got a Sam Haines set, you got a Misfit set, and then you got another miniature Danzig set, followed by a Misfits encore. I mean, it does not get better than that when we talk about like this fantasy sort of situation, the Danzig legacy. What a deal that was. What a great. I mean, it was just great, man. You got to hear all the cuts you wanted to hear. No, Jerry wasn't there, but I got to tell you, when I look back fondly at those Danzig legacy shows, not only for the value, but just for, it was the value, and I guess the value covers price and what you get, right? The price as well as the value. It is now, we are 15 minutes to the hour on this call-in show. We're doing a call-in show tonight. We're just trying it out, seeing how it goes. Maybe we'll do it again in the future. If you feel comfortable enough, you are totally invited to click into the link in the comments pinned to the top, call in, weigh in on the subject. We've had 2 callers this far. We had Sharpie Riot and we had Zach. It was great to hear from both of them. We'll put you on a 5-minute timer. You can say your piece, spill your beans, and be on your way. And we will wrap things up on the hour. So feel free to do so. Link is in the description or pinned in the chat. I'll wet my whistle for a second. You know, I brought a backup seltzer, and I don't think I'm going to need it tonight. I actually recorded a show. I recorded a new segment, part 6 of our audio book that we are doing for the Secret Show, the Stephen King out of print Secret Show that we've been doing. Lots of fun. I don't know if fun is the right word for that book, because that book is not fun. It is challenging and disturbing, to say the least. Disturbing, to say the least. If you could imagine the Breakfast Club with a school shooting done by Stephen King, that is what this book is. Oh, sorry. It's the Breakfast Club meets Catcher in the Rye with a school shooting. And yeah. So, you know, Angus says, I would call, but I fried my mic by spilling Guinness on it a couple of days ago. Haha. Angus, that's okay. We would love to hear from you, but totally understand. Do not, you know, it's hard equipment. Believe me, I know all my equipment's falling apart. Don't want to put any pressure on anybody. Anybody doesn't want to or can't, it's okay as well. No pressure here. This, like I said, this is just an experiment. I really want to do more with this format, but I gotta sort of feel it out and see how it works. And I'm sort of checking out the kinks right now and like seeing how it goes. And I think to really make it work, it has to be promoted. You have to have a good question. Can't do it the day of, maybe like a week out might make it a little bit easier to do. Still not such a bad turnout. We've had upwards of 20 people watching, so it's not so bad for one of my little shows. At least done at the last minute as well. The question for anybody who wants to weigh in, we got 12 minutes left, actually 11 and a half minutes. Question for anybody who wants to weigh in, Misfits and the Metallica show, what say ye, yes or no? Is that something that you want? How would you want to see it play out? How would you want that? How would you want to slice that cake? What am I talking about? 11 minutes now. This whole broadcast is just going to be me counting down the time. 11 minutes on the hour. 11 minutes to the hour. Like I said, we're going to be doing a cryogenics episode. I'm really excited about that. Really interesting topic. What goes into freezing someone and what goes into the maintenance of keeping someone frozen and all of the horror stories that you can imagine that go with it. That's going to be Friday. Really interesting stuff. Cryogenics. We haven't done one of those like weird history, like weird science history shows in a while. I love doing those. I'm just waiting for the right topic that made sense. And I think we found it. So we're going to do it and it will be interesting. Angus says, maybe you need to contact a person who speaks before you put him on the air to clarify things. Yeah. I don't know. Zach says, hey, Angus, are you the record shop owner over in St. Louis that's always got a Misfits gear and tied in with the Danzig house? I don't know. We're going to find out. I mean, at the end of the day, a call-in show is not calling in a call-in show is not like it's something that happens quite often. People do call-in shows all the time. Wow, I've never had this much dead air on a show before. Jesus Christ. All right, 9 minutes. 9 minutes. What else is coming up? I already talked about what was coming up. You already know. I don't have to say it. Oh, we'll have Tank back again some point in the future to do part 4. They're getting some man. People like those Tank episodes, man. I like those Tank episodes. They're long. They're long. Maybe in February. It'll happen in February, I would imagine. And Angus does not own a record store. That solves the issue. Again, we are wondering, what do you think? Metallica? That's what we exactly. Weather forecast and bad jokes. It is 11:07 p.m. Wednesday, December 28th, Eastern Standard Time. It's probably cold outside, and I got no jokes. I got no jokes. Hey, Amy, what's up? Merry Frumess and a Happy New Year. I forgot to put that on some merch. I have to cut in Keith on the royalties. But yes, Merry Frumess. That's going to be a shirt design for next year, for sure. We're going to get some Merry Frumess shirts. Have a very happy New Year, Amy. Biz, hope you have a very happy New Year. We will definitely be doing a pre-taped broadcast. Really interesting movie we are going to be discussing and maybe even showing. And that is on the 31st, but that's going to be pre-taped, so it's not live, although it will kind of have the appearance of being live. We're not going to be ignoring you. We're just not there live for the broadcast. Adam says, how about the rumor Doyle quit again? Is that true? Did Doyle quit again? I have not heard such a rumor. I feel like the deal with that is always, it's like, hey, I'm not in the Misfits until there's a Misfits show, and then I'm in the Misfits. It's like that, like they're only a band as however many shows there are coming up the pike, right? Like if there's no shows happening, then they're not a band. They're only a band when there's shows coming up. That's what it is. Amy says, I was looking forward to seeing the Misfits in Las Vegas this weekend. I'm very disappointed about it. Amy, I'm sorry. You and who else? There was someone else who was bummed out too. I think it was Steve. Steve was bummed out as well. And yeah, it's terrible. Amy, did you get tickets, or did you like book a hotel? That would be the worst, man. Some people booked hotels and had airfare all lined up and stuff. I mean, that's gnarly. I hope that wasn't the case for you, Amy. Or I hope you were able to reverse that situation, if so be. I mean, listen, for those, if you live local in Vegas, or if you're within driving distance of Vegas, hey, it's not such a bad thing. But man, if you have to fly, or if you do need accommodations, that's rough, man. It's really rough. Heart goes out to all the people out there that deal with that. It came out around the time they canceled the show. Yeah, I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? Those guys are always bickering. The thing that holds them together, the glue that holds them together, is money. They're doing these shows and they're making good money doing them, and I'm sure there's all that. So, it's that philosophy of two countries that have McDonald's are never going to attack each other because they like making money. Why did it cancel? Well, the reason that was given was a personal issue. That was what was in the official statement. I've heard it's been going around the mill that members of the band might have needed some sort of medical treatment. Who knows? Oh no, Amy, I'm so sorry to hear that. She had to unfortunately bought tickets and booked a room and everything. Damn it. Justice for Amy and all those out there who have to deal with that. I'm so sorry. I really am. That sucks, man. That really is suck. I'm sorry I even brought it up. It's not cool. Not fair. I hope. Here's what I hope. I hope that they make up the show and that you and the rest who didn't get to go. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful time. That's what I hope. So hopefully the new year brings lots of new, wonderful things with it. How about that? So this is, like I said, second to last broadcast. We will be back Friday. We are going to be talking about cryogenics. Frozen people, okay? The horrors of what happens when you get frozen. There's so much that goes into being frozen. We are going to talk about it. It's going to be gnarly. Let's just say that it doesn't always work out for people who freeze themselves. I mean, there's already a lot of uncertainty, but it's made worse for a lot of reasons. For some people, they have no choice, but that's a whole other situation. So, all right, it's now 3 minutes to the hour. The weather is cold. It's 11:13 p.m. We're going to put a pin in this experiment of a call-in show, and we will try to do it next time. That's what we will do. We'll try to do it next time. We'll think of a good question, and we will put it out a week in advance to give some people some notice instead of just, flying free. Angus says, can't wait to hear about cryogenics. Interesting. Angus, I have a feeling it's going to be a really, really interesting show. I'm really excited to do it. And that's happening Friday at nighttime. Keep your notifications turned on so you know when we go live. I always tell people to turn on the notifications because, maybe you don't like the show, or maybe whatever the show topic is, oh, that doesn't interest me. But at least you know what we're talking about and can choose to join in the conversation or not. And that's up to you, whatever you want to do. Riot Sticker says, maybe they confirmed the Metallica tour and were forced to cancel any upcoming shows. Wouldn't that be a bittersweet realization? Seriously, I hope everybody that that situation in Vegas, for anybody who was screwed over, I hope you all, I hope it worked out for everybody. That's what I hope, truly. It's unfortunate. All right, that's the end of the show, guys. Tune in next time. I want to thank everybody who tuned in and answered the question and participated in the chat and jumped on a call. We'll figure out, we're gonna work this format through and make it really interesting. I think it could work. It just needs a little elbow grease. We'll figure it out. So we will see you Friday. And then, like I said, we got our special surprise live show. Maybe we'll do an after party. Live after party. Who knows? In any case, let me tell you a little bit about the Patreon. Peace, hair grease. Happy New Year if I don't see ya. 2023. Got a feeling 23 is going to be a good year.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jeff. So I've decided to make a Patreon. What is Patreon? I don't know how to define a Patreon. Let me look it up. Patreon is a membership platform that makes it very easy for creators to get paid for the things that they're already creating. I want to do it full time. I want this to be my full-time job. In my efforts to make that happen, I've set up this platform. Is it going to work? Is it going to be successful? I don't know, but I would rather try and crash and burn than not try at all. The goal is to create enough passive revenue so that I can continue to do this full-time uninterrupted. Why? Because I love to do this. I love creating content. I love making videos. I love shooting films. I love doing podcasts. In case you couldn't tell, I love to talk and I never shut the fuck up. So right now, I've kept the Patreon incredibly simple. There's 2 tiers, and that may change in the future. The Murdergram is a simple way to extend support for all of the hours and hours of free content on the channel for nothing more than $1. 38 cents goes to Patreon. What's $1.38, eh? It's less than a cup of coffee, but it's a great way that you can show support for very little effort. When you divide that $1.38 by the hours and hours and hours of time spent listening to this endless drivel of content, the dollar cost average works out. Next up is the YouTube Casualty for $6.66. The YouTube Casualty is loaded to the gills. Enjoy the archive ad-free, as well as ad-free early access to special docu-style podcast videos, music reaction commentaries, and the like, a month before they drop on YouTube, loaded with ads, I might add. You're also going to get exclusive content and behind-the-scenes content that is not available on YouTube or anywhere else. So you get to peek behind the veil. And believe me, there's a couple of choice pieces. Most of all, more than anything, whether you join the Patreon or not, I just want to thank each and every one of you that comes to the channel, that watches all the shows, that leaves comments, that participates, that subscribes. That's really the most important thing. This is just trying to find a way to earn a living as an artist. And with that, thank you for my TED Talk. Join the Patreon, because we need you!
66 cents.